Good day! Today we are going to discuss voices of the verb. What is the voice of the verb? Voice is a word used to describe whether the verb is active or passive. It tells us whether the subject is the doer or the receiver of the action. Active and passive voice. What is active voice? The active voice is the normal voice that we use most of the time. We have the subject, the verb, and the object. The subject is the doer of the action. We use active voice when the doer of the action is specific or emphasizes the doer of the action. Let us look at this example. Can you tell me the subject of the sentence? You are correct. The old king is the subject. It is the doer of the action, and the world ruled is the verb. While the kingdom of Bumbaran is the object of the sentence. It is the receiver of the action. Here is another example. Prince Bantugan defeats the enemies. Can you now identify the subject of the sentence? Alright, Prince Bantugan is the subject of the sentence. He is the doer of the action, defeats. And the object of the sentence is the enemies. The receiver of the action defeats. Now, let's discuss the passive voice. If we begin the sentence with the object or person that the action is performed on, we formulate the passive voice. The subject in the passive voice is the receiver of the action. We use the passive voice when we don't know who is the doer of the action. Another, we emphasize the receiver of the action. If we want to show who or what performs the action, we use the word by. Now, look at what happened to the object of the sentence. It becomes now the doer of the action or the subject. And the subject becomes the object or the receiver of the action. The subject is no longer performing the action of the verb, rather it is being acted upon by the verb. The subject of the sentence in the passive voice is no longer the doer of the action. It is now the recipient of the action. So again, the object becomes the subject, and the subject is no longer performing the action. It is now the recipient of the action. Since we want to say who performed the action in the passive voice, we use the preposition by. The structure of active and passive voice. For active voice, we have subject plus verb plus object. While for passive voice, we have object, verb, and subject.